All right, hello wine drinking people. We are back. Today is Wednesday, September 14th, and we got a full lineup of events still this week, and we've got some great stuff next week. Continuing with our Burgundy theme. It seems to be Burgundy month here. September, we've had 3 Burgundy events this week. We'll have one next week coming up at Cafe Max a week from tonight. We've got another Burgundy tasting. All right, well, thank God we have a little Bordeaux to sell you on the subject of our email today. But now it's time for what I drank yesterday. And yesterday we had kind of a light day in the store. You know, I'm happy if we only have one supplier, if it is one great supplier. And I pinch myself all the time, the people that walk in the door here. We had Luc Columbo in the store yesterday. And Jean-Luc is the leading flag bearer in Cornas. Cornas is an appellation in the northern Rhone. And this is not actually a household name in this country yet. And one of the reasons why Jean-Luc is here, and I encourage him to come back. I think he makes fabulous wines. And one of the things it takes to sell wines like this, they're all biodynamically farmed, organically grown, everything all the way down to his Côte de Rhône, which we do have in the store. A great little value. The Les Abeilles, which is the bees, the beehives. I guess they're into bees up there in Cornas, but it's all part of organic farming, and you can find wines like this that are under $15 a bottle from the Rhone Valley that are organically produced, in this case biodynamically produced. So some fantastic stuff, and I promise you when Jean-Luc comes back in February, we will have him in to expose his top wines, the Cornas, Les Rouchettes, which we had a couple vintages of this yesterday, and the 2001 Drinking Beautiful, and you really get the granite soil that you see in the northern Rhone here. It comes out in the wine, in the terroir of this wine. Lovely black berry fruit, dried meats, a nice savory kind of sage and herb note to the wine. Also, a little bit of animal sauvage, as the French say. The original vineyard here was bought in 1984. It's at a 38-degree angle, and the original Roman terraces date back 1,500 years. So a long time, and the granite there is 10 million years old. So this area's got quite a bit of history here of growing wine. No irrigation. You get this lovely scorched earth quality to these wines also, and a lovely freshness. This is one of the things that I love about European wines, is they leave your tongue salivating for food. Some nice dark cocoa notes on the finish. Really nice bottle of wine, only to be outshined by the 07, which the 07 had a lot more forward fruit to this wine. Really decadent. Blackberries, black plum, notes of fresh flowers, forward and seductive. A little bit of smoke in this. Some black pepper spice. Really complex. You know, Jean-Luc described it as 50% Syrah and 50% Syrah. Okay, well, it's not a blend. It's 100% Syrah, but I guess he means Syrahs from different clones or something. I don't know. He was kind of jovial and joking around the whole tasting yesterday, and a really nice man. And like I said, some exceptional wines. This 2007, really nice, but it's $81 a bottle. So, I mean, it's, you know, hey, you make great wine, it's not cheap. So it's not cheap to make, especially at high altitudes with difficult slopes like this that they have in Cornas. Okay, next up, we had kind of his entry-level wine. This is the first time I've ever had a producer taste his wines backwards, the expensive wines, and then the cheap, all the way down to the cheap wines. But when you make great wines, it works, and it worked yesterday. We had his Cornas Terre Brûlée with this wine is a little lighter in style, some lovely pretty floral notes, black raspberry fruit, some of the gravelly granite notes that you get, even though this is a little different kind of soil composition, thus the lighter texture and flavor of this wine. But made the very same way all the other wines are made. He does a cold soak and macerates the wine to get more color and concentration out of the skins before he does the alcoholic fermentation. You get a lovely floral note to these wines also, and this one had it, and some nice perfume on the finish, and some lovely freshness again. Just a little bit lighter than the first 2 wines. And then we had the Les Fées Brunes, the Crozes Hermitage, which is also 100% Syrah, or I guess you could say 50% Syrah and 50% Syrah. But lightly roasted game quality to this wine, some black plum and black cherry fruit, a little bit of licorice spice, a little bit of smoke, some really nice exotic flavors in this wine as well, and then soft and smooth on the tongue with some little bit of spice and incense to the finish on this wine. Lovely savoriness, again, leaves the tongue salivating for food. Next up, we had a little Côte de Rhône, and I believe it's the same vintage we have in the store. Yes, the 07. This wine is a 25-year-old vineyard. It's a blend of GSM, a field blend, and 20% new oak. And then the oak is blended back into the tank stuff very balanced style, very fresh. I love this berry pie fruit that you get with Côte de Rhône, and then this lovely garrigue quality, the wild flowers and herbs that you get from the wines from the Rhone Valley, and a really balanced finish here, really light but very pleasant. All right, and then we had the rosé. Rosé is becoming popular. We don't sell a ton of them here, but this one was simply delicious, and you get this lovely wild strawberry fruit. And Jean-Luc, joking again, he said this wine is 50% claret, 50% Syrah, and 50% strawberries. So, but you get that strawberry definitely in the bouquet and in the palate. Lovely forward fruit, but again, really nice and fresh on the finish. And then we had the white Côte de Rhône. This wine is a blend of claret and roussanne, and a little licorice spice to this wine, some lovely chalk-like mineral notes, lemon citrus, white flowers, and a hint of honey. Really nice, and some great values you find there in the Northern Rhone. And that's what I had in the store yesterday. We had 2 events last night. We had a lovely Burgundy tasting at the Tower Club. Thank you very much to the people that helped out with that, Deirdre and David from Antares and from the Boisset family. We had some really nice stuff from Bouchard Annefields, the Fixin and the Monthly, 2 of my favorite wines of the night. And then some great stuff from the Mommy Son label, the Moulin Avant Caves, outstanding. And then some of the Paul Brocard wines, also very good. A really nice tasting at the Tower Club. We had like 14, 15 wines in all. And then on to Mancini's for dinner, and another fabulous dinner at Mancini's. I would have to say these guys have turned it up a notch over there. The food definitely at another level than from a couple years ago. Chef Pietro is a showman. He's really good at describing the dishes coming out of the kitchen and telling you about what he's doing. And you don't see that in too many restaurants today. The lineup of wines, the first couple ones rather simple. The Prosecco, I'm not a big Prosecco fan anyways, a little light and refreshing. And then we had a little bit of Pinot Grigio from Piguin. This wine is nice, not quite as good as the Atlanta Walk stuff we had the other day, though. That stuff was mind-blowing. But a nice, refreshing Pinot Grigio, maybe a little bit bigger than a light Coiffer. And then next up, we had a really nice wine, the 2004 Nazzile Chianti Classico Reserva. And this wine was served with grilled halibut. Kind of an interesting pairing to have with a red wine, especially a big red wine like this. But the Livornais sauce kind of brought everything together. I always tell people it's more important what you put with the dish than the actual protein itself, and that tomato-based sauce really did work nice with the Sangiovese. But that 2004 vintage, a classic vintage in Tuscany, and the Nazzile Chianti Classico Reserva was drinking beautiful. Next up, we had a little Tenuta Sanguita Guidalberto, and this is kind of like the second wine of Sassicaia, meant to be drank at a younger age. This 2007 vintage, really forward, seductive, rich black cherry, cassis berry fruit, almost liqueur-like in concentration, some lovely toasty oak spice, some dark chocolate, and that fresh plowed black earth that you get from Bulgari, and then some lovely espresso notes. Really nice wine, very well balanced, but big, and went really nice with the Petit Filet Mignon, and this polenta that Chef made was just outstanding. Well, we ended out with a little sweet wine, a little Moscato d'Asti from Michele Chiarlo, the Nivelle, and one of my favorite drinks to have after dinner. It's light and refreshing, only 5% alcohol, and just a little bit sweet also, not cloyingly sweet. Wonderful freshness and acidity at the end, and man, what a nice dinner last night at Mancini's. Check it out. I think we got another event with them on the 30th, and that's what I had to drink yesterday. I'm your host, Andrew Lampazone for the Wine Watch, signing off, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.